welcome to the part 8 of Villain, the School Beauties plot. If you encounter any issues or have feedback, please let me know in the comments. Enjoy the content.
Chapter 180, Part 1. For Chen Beiyuan, why should he share what he can keep for himself? When his fist is not big enough and he needs help, it is understandable to share some of the benefits and win over allies. When his fist is big enough to overthrow the whole audience, it is called brainless to share the benefits and win over a group of waste who are dragging his feet. Chen Beiyuan's eyes are dark, and he looks around the whole audience. He takes a step forward, and suddenly a terrifying demonic energy bursts out, covering the sky and the earth, and instantly suppresses the strange phenomenon of the sacred tree behind him to within 3 feet. The cold voice enveloped the whole audience, and the words were full of absolute tyranny. Now, start clearing the field. If you don't leave within 10 breaths, then don't leave. I have a lot of use for your brains, just in time to build a jingguan. 1 jingguan can't satisfy me. If possible, I hope to build 10 today. His eyes swept the whole audience, and seemed to pause on Jiang Yunfan and others. Of course, Donghua people can be an exception. As long as Jiang Yunfan and others don't get involved, Chen Beiyuan won't be crazy enough to K*LL Donghua compatriots. He still has a bottom line on this point. He is not like some villains in novels who go crazy and K*L people everywhere, like a K*Ling machine. He K*LS for the purpose, and the means to make some people who only know how to make noise and complain completely quiet down and listen to him calmly. As for whether it will offend people, if you are cautious about this and that when doing things, you might as well die. You still offend people? Why aren't you afraid of offending me? I practice Demon Dao, which is domineering, arbitrary, and unrestrained. Dead man, if I offend you, I offend you. What? You don't support the weapon? Arrogant. Instantly, the prodigy of various races present were also angered by Chen Beiyuan's domineering and arrogance. Chen Beiyuan clearly didn't regard the prodigy of all races present, except the Donghua people as human beings, as beasts. Even the prodigy of the Donghua Empire headed by Jiang Yunfan had a drastic change of expression at this moment, and looked at Chen Beiyuan as if he was looking at a madman. This is no longer a question of arrogance. This is crazy. Is he crazy? Yi Chen's face was pale, and his eyes were full of shock and anger. Whether Chen Beiyuan lived or died had nothing to do with him. But he was afraid that his goddess Bai Ruowei would be dragged into the water by Chen Beiyuan, a madman. At this moment, even Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua were frightened by Chen Beiyuan's almost crazy behavior. However, due to their trust in Beiyuan, the 2 women quickly suppressed their astonishment and stood behind Chen Beiyuan without hesitation, stating their position. Arrogant. Do you really think you can look down on everyone just because you are the first on the void list? All the prodigy present here can drown you with a mouthful of spit from each person. Hee hee hee. I didn't expect that the number 1 on the void list would be a lunatic. The prodigy of all races who reacted to the situation looked at Chen Beiyuan with a cold look in an instant, and the overwhelming Rouse intent swept towards him instantly. However, Chen Beiyuan turned a blind eye and stood with his hands behind his back, as if he didn't take everyone present seriously. At this moment, a roar of a vast dragon suddenly rang out, interrupting everyone's curses. It's Aolai, the 3rd on the void list. Olai, who was wearing hot dragon scales, dragon horns on his head, hot lava flowing on his body, emitting terrifying high temperature, and wearing a flaming battle robe, flew from the front, stopped in midair, and appeared in everyone's sight. Behind him, there was a group of huge dragon beasts following him, emitting a terrifying aura and with strange appearances. Aolai, who looked arrogant, enjoyed the feeling of being the center of attention. He looked down at the handsome figure in black clothes below with fluttering black clothes, and a ferocious look appeared on his face. Those erect dragon eyes seemed to be sizing up their prey, full of a sense of superiority, and a cold and bloodthirsty voice came out of their mouth. Chen Beiyuan, the top one in the void? It's easy for you to give me a meal. Hand over your void order, and then cut off your arms. I can take the exam? So much nonsense. A very close voice interrupted Aolai's words. Aolai's pupils shrank, and his arrogant face changed drastically, as if he was in disbelief. Chen Beiyuan shouldn't be on the ground, but the source of this sound was from the top of his head. Aolai suddenly looked up and saw a size 42 shoe getting closer and closer to his sight, stepping hard on his face. Boom! Like a falling star. The ground suddenly shook violently, and dust covered the sky. In the eyes of a pair of disbelieving eyes, Chen Beiyuan was dressed in black, with a calm face, standing with his hands behind his back, as if he had not moved from beginning to end. But under his feet, there was a twisted and ferocious dragon face. The huge dragon body is embedded deeply in the pit. This is surprisingly Aolai, who is 3rd on the void ranking. This is impossible? An alien prodigy suddenly exclaimed, his face full of disbelief. Wanlong Island Longzi, who had just appeared arrogantly and and Aolai, who was third on the void ranking, were stepped on in the face and to the ground in an instant. This is almost a crushing. This scene shocked all the prodigy present, and it was almost unspeakable. Everything happened so fast, almost in a blink of an eye. There are even some people who have not yet realized what is going on. However, Chen Beiyuan's cold voice did break the calm next. The time for 10 breaths has arrived. Since you don't want to leave, then don't leave at all. Chen Beiyuan said to himself as if he was stepping on an ant. This time, the prodigy of all races present looked at Aolai, who was stepped on the ground by Chen Beiyuan. No one felt arrogant and ridiculous anymore, but felt a bone-eroding chill. Roar! The ground suddenly exploded. A huge dragon claw burning with terrifying flames suddenly struck Chen Beiyuan, instantly creating a huge, deep hole in the entire ground. A giant crimson dragon nearly 30 feet tall suddenly appeared in front of everyone. The dazzling crimson dragon scales on its body shone like flames. It let out a furious roar, and the terrifying dragon power swept out instantly, making countless ferocious beasts feel. A tremor came from the blood. This is clearly Aolai who revealed his true form. A red flame dragon, with pure blood. Despicable human being, I'm going to kill you. Aolai's eyes were full of ferocity as he revealed his true form, as if he was completely angered. Do you think that the majestic Longzi of Wanlong Island was trampled under the soles of a humble human being in full view of the public? How could he, who had always been proud, endure this? This human being must die. However, at the next moment, Aolai's almost crazy giant dragon face seemed to flash a hint of surprise and disbelief, and the red claws that penetrated the ground were actually lifted up little by little. In the midst of countless incredulous eyes, a figure with evil dragon patterns on his face, sharp dragon horns growing out of his head, a majestic and evil face, tall and strong, exuding a terrifying evil aura suddenly came into view. This is Chen Beiyuan, who used the blood dragon transformation. What was even more shocking was that he actually raised the red flame dragon claw as huge as a hill with just one finger. Too weak.
Thanks for watching. You can find the next videos in the playlist linked in the info card or directly on my channel. If you have any feedback, I'd love to hear it. Feel free to drop a comment.